Yeah, the only thing I'd add to that is understanding your donor persona, a bio on the person. Maybe we haven't really talked about the technology side of things of like having a proper, donor relationship management, a CRM, something where you can actually have this information, right? Because to even a couple of questions on the chat, like every donor is unique in some kind of a way, but you can do your best to understand, you could do your best to research, but also where are you going to put those questions and those answers? And so hypothetically, let's say to this one, you send a letter out and it kind of didn't work out. Are you writing that down somewhere for your memory or for when you hire a development person or when you speak to your development committee and say, hey, we had 10 people this week. This is what we tried. These are the results, right? So a lot of it is trial and error. The best thing you can do, especially in the age of AI, is just document everything as much as you can. I don't care if it's a Google Doc, a Word document, if it's a piece of paper that you then scan, if you have to talk to ChatGPT, the whole concept now is I keep telling people like whatever you do, whatever you try, AI is smart enough to help you understand, analyze, and help you strategize effective ideas that take the next step. And that's the minimum you can do. Like we are in this time of trial and error like never before. Right. And so, because like the next question is kind of on that, right? It's Shavana then asked, let's see, she asked, would you recommend re-engaging a donor who previously said no? And my comment in the chat was, it depends on why they said no, right? Is it no right now? I already gave for the year. Is it, I'm not really interested in your field? It's like the more you know about the donor, the better you can actually create a strategy as to, what to do. Is it a funder? Is it a foundation? Is it a donor? I mean, there's so many variables here as to, was it a no because they didn't really understand your pitch the first time? Or they completely understood it. They came to your organization. They sat down with you. You had 16 meetings. You went to the zoo. You did all these great things. And then they said no to you. Right? Like Kirsten's great about talking to potential donors and just be like, is it a no or a not now? I've heard her say that so many times. It is, and it's awesome because everyone's like, you know what, maybe it's a not now. Let's say, oh, great. I'll put you on the new, we'll help you with whatever it is, right? And I love that because that's really what it comes down to. It's knowing the opportunity, knowing the donor.
Yeah.
Anything on that, Kirsten? Yeah.
The more you inform yourself about the reasons, about their interests, the better off you are, because you don't want to spend a lot of energy on things that aren't going to really resonate with that particular donor. But it could just be that they just gave $50,000 to another organization 2 weeks ago, and they're waiting for another calendar year to be able to donate again, or whatever their particular tax circumstances are. So we just never know. It could be that they just had a death in the family and it's a terrible time, but in 6 months, you can resurrect that, and you can, so we just never know, and we can't make assumptions, and we're not going to make assumptions, because we should be mining those names and working them and make sure we have a really good understanding of where we stand with each of those names. Again, to Danny's point, what happens if you have a development director come in and they say, okay, I've got all these names. What can I do with all of them? Well, if we had kept good notes, you would know exactly what the next steps are for each person.
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
And by the way, asking donors for permission. May I reach back out to you in 6 months? May I reach back out to you next year? We have so many exciting things happening. Would that be all right? Most of the time,
especially they tell you why, Kirsten, right? Like they say, no, you're too small. No, you're not there yet. You know what? You're kind of where I'm looking for. Great. What if I get there, right? Or if I get another donor, or what's a great ask as well is, listen, I have talked to a couple of organizations or funders that are interested in doing some kind of matching contribution. Would that be something that interests you? And donors, philanthropists, you never know. Sometimes they're like, someone's going to put 20, 30 grand in and it's got to be a match. Yeah, give me a call. Why not? Right? These are just things it's all about relationship building, like Kirsten said, right? It all comes down to, should not be transactional. It should always be a relationship. It's a friend, right? Well, you still kind of want to have that with the person.
Interesting that you say that about the matching, because I just got off a call today with a development director who told me that there is someone waiting in the wings to give a gift, but they want the other funds raised first, because they want to make sure that this organization meets the budget for that particular program. And so they're incentivizing the organization to work harder, other people to donate, but it's great that the development director knows that she kind of has them in her court, so to speak, with sort of waiting in the wings with an extra gift. So it makes a big difference. It's a $50,000 match, and it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Other questions? Were there any?
Eduardo asked all the way from
Oh.
Argentina. He said, if you had 10 different programs, because Eduardo does not do things simply. Eduardo goes all the way. So if he says you have 10 different programs throughout the year, should the ask be once per year, twice, or more, as many times? How many asks are too many? And to me, it's simple. It depends on the donor. It goes back to understanding the donor, having the notes, and then trial and error. And, everyone's different. Everyone's unique.
And again, if we look at what speaks to them, so maybe it's two particular programs that really, really resonate with them, and you sort of have to make a choice. Now, what I have been part of is this development committee effort. I was part of a team of solicitors of 3 people who went to a donor, and we had a conversation. We had a lunch. They all had wine. I didn't think it was appropriate because I was working, but it loosened everybody up. So it was actually lovely. But interestingly, when the program was pitched to them that was expected to really resonate, they weren't quite as excited. And they said, well, what else are you working on? And they said, oh, well, let us tell you about some of these other things that we're working on. So it was very, very interesting how they sort of took the lead, and they were like, okay, what else is there? So you just never know. I think 10 is a lot. And as far as the number of times per year, I like to ask once a year for a major gift. I think that is sort of standard practice, but with the caveat that if you're running a capital campaign and you're asking for a major gift, you do still need to ask for your annual fund gift, and it may still be significant. I mean, they may give 10,000 to your annual fund and 50,000 to your capital campaign. So they are two different things, and that's perfectly fine and perfectly acceptable. And people are familiar with that concept. But I think, again, like Denny says, it's understanding the donor. And even if they're not a direct referral, even if there isn't someone, a board member that you can, by the way, this is a really good strategy as well. Whoever referred that person to you, see if you can sit down with them and pick their brain a little bit about the individual and tell them you'll keep it confidential. This is just between you and the development committee, but it is helpful to find out as much background as you can about them. Other questions?
Hillary just asked, can you speak about asking for a matching grant from a donor after receiving a grant from a foundation, or based upon receiving a grant award from a foundation?
So asking for a matching grant. Oh, having a donor match a grant from a foundation. Is that what you're asking, Hillary?
Yeah.
Yes.
A gift came in.
Exactly.
Do it. Do it.
How? What do you say? How do you do it? What do
You say, we're so excited. We just received $50,000 towards our program, and we are looking to grow this and turn it into 250 or whatever the case may be. And so we are looking for matching funds. Would you be willing to be one of these? Can we use your gift because the funds have already come in, right? So that's the thing. Those funds have already come in. So it's not like you can say, well, what you're asking the donor to do is match that gift. Or you can say, we've had this gift. We are now looking to raise an additional $100,000. Would you be willing to be part of this additional raise? I think that there's something to that, just because if a foundation has shown this kind of investment and commitment, it's sort of exciting. You can say, we're 2/3 of the way or 1/3 of the way there. Yeah. And if you were willing to match up to 50 and we raise the other 50, now we have $150,000. So there are a couple of different ways to do it. But if you have someone that's already warmed up and you feel comfortable with them, and particularly if they're interested in the program that this foundation has funded, you could just come right out and make a direct ask for the match.
Yeah. And I would kind of phrase it as a partnership and opportunity, right? Because what you want to be careful with is that the funder, especially if it's a foundation, didn't give it to you with the precedent that it was a match. You don't want to kind of go to a funder and say that you got this matching dollars and you're only going to be able to get the money if it's actually matched. So words kind of do matter because funders tend to talk to each other and have these communication. What I think you want to say is, look, the total project cost is $150,000. This major foundation spent months doing their due diligence. We had multiple conversations. They actually loved our program and are making an investment of $75,000 into us, right? And they're eager to help us raise the additional $75,000. Right,
Mm-hmm.
because that funder, so I mean, I'm a trustee at a major foundation. You know, I've led grants, you know, for a number of years. For us, you know, we rarely would we come in more than 50% of what a total project cost would be, right? Even if it's $250,000 or whatever it is. But
Mhm.
my interest was always, how are we going to help that organization raise the remainder of the money? And many times it was just the good housekeeping seal of approval of like, hey, we've got you. Right, hey, we're backing you,
Mm.
and put that on the
Right.
website, and if
Mm.
the foundation allows you to do a press release, do a freaking press release.
Mm.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes,
that is
leverage it.
so
Leverage
important,
it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
there are foundations like the one I'm at, where we don't raise money and all we do is grant dollars. And so our team of 11, 12 people are just amazing at the due diligence and understanding the opportunities. And so I always say, if this organization, if this foundation gave you money,
Mm.
run with it and build the
Mm.
flag, I don't know, whatever you want to do, like go out
Yeah,
there and
good
tell the
point.
world
Yes.
that the
Mhm.
people that know this and just do this for a living day in and day out trusted you enough.
Right.
And
Yeah,
don't
good
be
point. Mm-hmm.
And don't be shy
Thank
about
you.
asking the foundation, the funder, what's appropriate? How may we leverage this? May we use this in our campaign to raise the additional 75? You know,
Yep.
there are foundations like Impact 100 that likes to see organizations leverage. They want to see you use their gift to raise
Good
more money.
point.
And there may be others that say, you know what, we prefer a low profile. We'd rather
Right.
just not have our name used in additional fundraising. I mean, I don't know why they would do that.
Mhm.
You just never know.
Right.
Mhm.
So it all
Like Hillary, in
depends.
your mind, who's the most
Mm.
prominent foundation that has backed your organization?
In my mind, I mean, you want me to, it's a DAF.
Yeah.
It's a DAF that we've
The
worked with
depth.
it.
Okay.
They've done it. Well, I'm talking about the program that I run, Concussed
Right.
Student Athlete Program. I'm not talking about overall Howe Foundation.
Right.
For the veterans, I'm talking about my program. So it's a
But
DAF.
when I say prominent, I mean like known and well known. Because if you can't, you know, does the DAF have a name where you can
Mm.
tell people, you know, so and so's DAF gave me something, you know? Do
I
you
can
see what I'm
use
saying?
yes,
Yeah.
I could use the name of the DAF. I can't use the name of the owner, the bank that
Fund
owns the
holder.
DAF,
Okay.
the fund holder.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, this is a good opportunity, Danny, for you
Good. Yeah.
to talk a little bit about DAFs.
Yeah. So donor advice funds, right? So for like just really quick, Hillary, I know Quantum Foundation has funded some of the work that you've done in collaboration. And I would say that's a major foundation that only does healthcare only in Palm Beach County. And
Yeah.
hasn't really gone out there and said, hey, can we leverage
Mhm.
this? Can we springboard on this? And it's just a conversation to the program officer to say, hey, you've trusted us a couple of times. Can we put the word
Yeah.
out that you have?
Mhm.
Oh, good
You see what I'm
idea.
saying?
Okay. Yes, I'll pass that along. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so that's big. So
Cool.
donor advice funds. So donor advice funds are is actually a good segue, Kirsten, into kind of what I wanted to show. So donor advice funds are a philanthropic vehicle established probably in the 1960s by the government to allow. It was really made for wealthy individuals to be able to park philanthropic dollars in other foundations and other nonprofits. It has grown tremendously as the stock market has grown and as companies have been sold and people have made a lot of money, because what it does is that it gives the individual or family donor immediate tax deductions because they're actually donating whatever sum of money it is. And so if they have appreciated stock, if they're selling a business, huge tax benefits for doing things like that. With the caveat that then they actually they could maintain a contractual right with the receiver of those funds, which is 9 times out of 10, either a community foundation or a foundation attached to a brokerage firm, the Fidelities, the Schwabs, the Vanguards of the world, things like that. And so what you do is as a donor, you have the right to recommend a grantee from your fund. The overall final selection and approval depends on the foundation to do it. But, you know, unless it's something, you know, completely illegal or outside of the realm of what a 501 can do, 99% of the time they will actually grant to the further organization. And so I'd say something like Palm Beach has something like, I don't know, probably 350 million dollars in assets. I'd say easily 80-90% of that is staff money. Fidelity has billions, the big, almost trillions, to be honest, at this point. And so what happens is that if you apply for a grant to the community foundation, I just read it today. I was looking at it. The community foundation of Palm Beach did 11 million in grant making last year. 80% came from their DAFs, right?
Mhm.
And so when you apply, the expectation is that they will go and talk to their DAF holders and say, hey, listen, here's an opportunity for you. I have DAFs. Very rarely have they come to me with an opportunity. I'm actually, but I'm an astute philanthropist in many ways. And so I kind of help them and tell them what to do. It's kind of funny, but they're not really in the business. And that's a problem in the kind of the criticism of donor advised funds. These fund holders charge a percentage for managing these funds, which is why you see the Fidelities, the brokerages kind of like, okay, you have money, you have $10 million invested in my brokerage and you want to donate for tax purposes. Well, wink, wink, put it in our Fidelity Foundation. We're still managing it. We're still going to get our 1% fee, and they're not, it's not in their best interest to actually have money come out because they make less money on it. Right. And so this is an opportunity for you to figure out and find out who are the DAF holders in the community, right? Who are the ones that are actually involved in, a lot of it's going to be financial planners. It's going to be high-end estate planning attorneys. It's going to be, high-end attorneys on the corporate side doing business transactions. This is where the networking works tremendously. This is where you're, hitting the pavement. This is where you're joining the Chamber of Commerce. This is where you're understanding who's who in philanthropy in your community, and you're actually doing your best to do the research. And again, putting this information, putting this data somewhere, so it's not all in your head. So it's not all in notes. It's actually somewhere that you can actually ask it and use some kind of AI tool to kind of get that information.
Just want to
How's
add to
that?
that as well, that that is a conversation you can also have with a major donor. You can ask them if they have a donor advised fund. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Did you know that we are delighted to receive funds from our donor advised fund holders? The other thing you can do is you can look through your donations and start to track this right away. Where are the checks coming from? Where are the gifts coming from? Are you already getting donations? And I bet many of you already are getting donations from donor advised funds. Well, those individuals obviously are holding funds with those organizations, right? Whether it's Fidelity or the Community Foundation. So you can tailor a customized approach to the individuals that have donor advised funds. You should make sure that on your website it says very prominently, we joyously accept donor advised fund gifts. We, put it in your communications, just like you want to talk about stocks, just like you want to talk about ACH, and however people can make a gift to you. So just make sure, because we don't often talk about it, but it kind of sparks people and oh yeah, that's right. Why don't we include them in our giving this year?
So here's my tech segue. Highly recommend Give Chariot. Chariot's a really great new platform out of New York City, doing a ton of work in the DAF giving space. And so they allow you and your nonprofit to actually raise money from donor advised funds. They're getting to the point of trying to become a gateway for DAF holders to find organizations that are there. And so I don't know the price on it. I don't think it's that. I think it's actually might be free for nonprofits, but highly recommend. And there's the numbers. They just came out with their report. I know one of the top guys there, and this is how much money went to DAF donations: $52 billion last year, and there's 3 million. It's not, that's 1% of the population, like less than 1% of the population, right? But I would highly recommend you start looking at the technology that's out there to be able to receive. And there's the major gifts, right? They actually did a project with Michael J. Fox Parkinson's Foundation recently, and a lot of great stuff. But this is kind of how it works. You'll have a DAF button attached to your website, and it'll. And by the way, back to that point, Hillary. On LinkedIn, you should be highlighting, hey, we just received a major donation for this program through a donor advised fund. You don't have to name who it is, but put it out there, because I guarantee you, a lot of LinkedIn has donor advised funds, and that's where you kind of want to live and be.
Yep.
Okay. So,
Nice.
yeah, so I wanted to show you something kind of cool. I know that my friends, Honey and Holly, are on the call. And so I want to use MedMaps. For those that don't know, the Medical Academy of Pediatric and Special Needs is a ridiculously powerful, fantastic organization doing amazing work in helping children with autism get the proper care they need. And I wanted to show you a really cool not new, it's been around for a while, but it's called Perplexity. And Perplexity is kind of like a different version of Google. If you think about how Google works, when you can search for something, you're going to just get a list of answers. You're going to get, the 55,000 pages, and all that kind of stuff in there. Perplexity works in a similar way, except it's going to give you the answer directly. So I pre-wrote this using MedMaps, and I just said, analyze our nonprofit website and find me potential major gift funders that I can target. I mean, super easy. Just talk to this thing. I haven't even signed up an account. This is not pro. You can pay pro if you want to have more, tools. This is, look, not even signing up. This is just going to Perplexity AI, putting your website and just saying, find me what's there. And this is how quickly it's going to give you answers. First of all, it's going to, go to your website. It's going to understand who you are. It's going to find information, and it's going to, focus on the different organizations that are here on the list, right? What I love about Perplexity is that not only does it answer your questions, it's basically going through every single link that Google would have identified and then aggregating that information using AI and giving you the answers, right? And so below it, you're always going to get answers as like follow-up questions, which I love because it's always like, it's helping me think about what should I be asking next. Now, this is focused on maps instead of the funder side, but I can easily follow up, the next question. Like in this case, I would be, you know what? I've heard of Robert Wood Johnson. They're pretty big, right? I would say, tell me more about them and how I may be a fit. Right? So you start looking at potential fits for MedMaps. Now, why is this important? Because ultimately the question is going to be, okay, let me get information about how I'm going to find this potential donor, this funder, but then what am I going to talk to them about? What am I going to show them? How am I going to get there, right? So the next thing I would do here is going to just be like, great, find me people on LinkedIn that work there and I should speak with. Boom. Rich Presser's the CEO. I happen to know him. This is, by the way, Robert Johnson's like an $18 billion foundation. They're the largest health funder in the country. Comes from the Johnson and Johnson family, doing a ton of work. But guess what? There's your links directly to your LinkedIn profiles. Program management. If you want to look for program officers, just say, what? How about program officers? Maybe you don't want to reach out directly to the CEO. If I know Honey, she's already reached out to him. They're probably having iced tea this weekend. And she's gonna ask for a major gift from him. But there you go. Look, there's Amy, senior program officer, June Glover. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's the information. Like, who do you want to know? What do you want to do? More questions to kind of follow up on that, right? So, Kirsten, if there's any questions I can't see, so just let me know and I'll stop. But
not at the moment. I think everyone's mesmerized.
Yeah, that's what I figured. So on that, right? Like LinkedIn, like I really, really, really love LinkedIn for what it does and the opportunity to connect with these experts, because everyone that's anyone in philanthropy is going to be in LinkedIn in somehow, right? So many people don't know that LinkedIn has an entire division called LinkedIn for Nonprofits. Great information here, a lot of great stuff that you can do for free. You don't have to do much. The premium product, which is the LinkedIn Sales Navigator, is usually like $100 a month. Most big businesses do it either for recruiting or finding clients or finding all these different things. They actually have a really good discount for nonprofits, and it's 75% off. You have to sign up through a company called Percent. This is like the TechSoup, for those that know TechSoup that have gotten all the discounts from it before. You're basically going to come in, you're going to hit login. I'm a nonprofit. It's going to ask you to put in either your tax ID number, your EIN, or your name, and then you could actually find through it. And then once you get approved, you're going to start seeing all these discounts that kind of appear for everything else. You all know I'm an AI geek and love this. And so OpenAI, ChatGPT has a discount. Normally it's $30 for the team plan. It's $20 per person on this. It's like, what, 33% off. The beauty of a team plan is you have privacy. They don't share your information to build their training modules. This is great for clients. This is, something important from a security aspect. Asana is a fantastic tool for workplace management. And then there's the kind of LinkedIn fundraise section that you can apply for it right there. So the thing is there, you've oh, Grant Station as well, Kirsten. I don't have much experience with Grant Station, but they do have a discount. Not sure if you know much on it. I know you use more
Yep.
of
I use it as a
Foundation
backup
Directory.
to my foundation directory. So I bounce back and forth. Yep.
Cool.
Mhm.
Google AdWords, I mean, just a ton of offerings. A lot of these are free. Canva, if you're not on Canva, Canva's free. You need to be on Canva ASAP in terms of learning stuff. There's like a group on Facebook for Canva for nonprofits with like 45,000 people. So join that. Ton of information. Anyway, I'll put this in the link and we'll follow up. We'll give you this aspect of it powered by Percent, but just really good information for the tech soup alternative that also gives you discounts for all of these different things. And then what the whole question was, now, right, you set up a meeting, you set up a call. What do we talk about? What do we show? And so Kannico's been doing a ton of work on the back end on putting together kind of the power of a case for support. So let's see if I can get this set up. Perfect. And so I've been helping on the technology side, kind of put this together on what Kannico's doing. Kirsten, just from our talks in the past, how long would it take you or your team in the past to do a case for support
3
normally?
to 4 weeks. And it would probably cost at least $1,500 to $2,000 because you need a good writer, you need a researcher, you need to interview all of the board members and the staff, and yeah, about 3 to 4 weeks is what we would
Right.
quote.
And
Yeah.
so when we started looking at, what can we do from an AI perspective and a technology perspective, I was like, you know what, I really think we could streamline document collection, reviewing, analyzing, writing, even the graphic design creation part of what a case for support looks like. And so Kirsten has launched this at an intro price of $499. I know there's some on the call already that are starting to do it. I've had amazing conversations with our team, teaching them, learning all these different things. But Kirsten, do you want to touch a little bit on the power of a case for support and how your clients in the past have used them?
Yeah, it's, and it's one of those things that it's your public facing story. And it's going to articulate a little bit about the organization. It's going to talk about your programming. It's going to talk about what the big vision is for the future, your fundraising goals. And it's your call to action. It's your leave behind piece. It's something you can use for your, by the way, what I like the most about it is you can use it across so many different areas, but there's consistency and continuity. If your board members have the case for support and they're stuck trying to explain to someone, or they know they're going to have a donor meeting, they can pull out the case for support, they can look at it, they can kind of rehearse in their mind some of the top points, but you can actually repurpose it. You can use it for a grant proposal, you can use it for an individual proposal. You could take the content of your case for support and say, my donor is a 65-year-old gentleman, he's married, he lives in such and such, his interests are this and this. Can you put together a proposal for me, a one-page proposal that would speak to this person based on the facts in this case for support? I mean, there are so many different ways you can turn it into a video. I mean, it just goes on and on. But the most important thing is to have one guiding document. It's your source of truth for the organization. And it should be a call to action. It should be compelling. It should be visually attractive. It should be easy to skim through to kind of see the high points, right? So you don't get too mired in just document reading and so on. But it really, really is a valuable tool. And the reason we launched this is because so many people were coming to us and saying, we really need a case for support. Do you still do them? I don't do them because I don't have a writer anymore and I don't have the time to do them. And Danny's never one to shy away from a problem or a task that needs to be solved. And so
trial and error, right? Is what I said. We got to try it.
We've tested this out. We've done about 10 or 15 at this point, and we're just so pleased with the results. So if you have a pretty robust website, if you have a GuideStar profile that you have completed and has some good content, if you have an annual report, if you have grant proposals you've submitted, any content like that would really sort of enrich what's being gathered and repackaged and reformulated into this beautiful story and narrative, which, by the way, stories and testimonials is another great thing you can have, then you are a prime candidate for having a case for support prepared for you. So we're excited about this. We think it's just going to really give people the opportunity to go to the next step with having these great materials. And, again, if you were to not prepare for a donor meeting and you bring a case for support, you've got it right there. You can leave
Or
it.
as a follow-up.
Or as a
right?
follow-up. It's a
as a
great
follow-up.
reason to reach out. This
Sure.
is another, okay, who was asking about reaching back out if you were declined? We just finished this beautiful case for support. I wanted to share it with you. There's a reason to reach out. So it's a wonderful tool. It's a wonderful tool. Thank you for bringing that up, Danny.
Were there on the chat, I saw a couple of questions. I know, David,
Okay.
if you want to just send me the whatever prompt you use or whatever question you asked, I'll say afterwards, or we can communicate
I
offline to see
love that
why you got the
everybody's
error.
testing it already.
Oh yeah, it's the way to see trial and error. It's what Danny says, right?
That's
Was there
great.
another question there? Because then I got a surprise.
Okay, I am going to jump into the last couple of things I wanted to mention because I
Cool.
said I was
Go
going
ahead.
to talk about this. Sorry, Danny, go ahead.
No, that's it. I was going to give away a case for support. I
Oh!
think Kannico's going to raffle one off
Today, right now?
today, right now, just to the attendees that are here.
Get out.
And we're going to use AI to do it, right? So I'm going to use ChatGPT. Tanaka helped me to get the list of attendees tonight. I'm going to ask the question. Kannico's giving away a free case for support on this webinar. I'm going to just.
Do you have to be present to win? What if somebody's
Yep.
already left?
Listen, so you see, it's fair. ChatGPT is going to pick the winner here. Can you see it on the screen? Is it coming up? Oh no! Regenerate. It thinks I'm a bot. Come
Uh-oh.
on, ChatGPT. No.
Okay, we're gonna let our tech guru work on that for a minute. But oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Okay, so back to what I was saying really quickly, because I told you I was going to give you some tips on amounts and kind of feeling awkward so that you don't ask for an inappropriate amount. So if your donor can give or has given in the range of 20,000 and you ask for 40, they're not going to be shocked. This is not outlandish. Nobody's going to just freak out and say, this is ridiculous. If you ask for 200,000, that may be a little uncomfortable because that may be quite a stretch unless you have some proven history, you've done your research and you've seen they have given several $200,000 gifts before. People tend to mimic the behavior of the past. Now, the other thing is they also tend to hop around. So if they are a little disgruntled with their organization and they feel like, oh, they didn't get thanked properly, or, oh, there was that little scandal last year, they may be ready for a new opportunity to fund an organization like yours. If they're a regular donor of yours to your annual fund, and you're thinking of what they could give as a stretch gift to you, typically it's 2 to 5 times what they normally give. So if they give $1,000 a year, they can give somewhere between 2 and 5 as a major gift. So I would go on the higher end always, and they'll tell you if they want to give lower. The other thing is if a person can give, for example, between 10 and 50, you always want to look at the higher end of the range. So I hope that's helpful, because I know I said I was going to talk a little bit about that. I am going. Oh, how are we doing? How are we doing, raffle?
We have a winner. We have a winner. We have, well, ChatGPT picked the winner. Hold on.
Winner, chicken dinner.
It actually went through an entire code thing, which I wasn't expecting it to do because I didn't do it before. But Cole Fairchild, if you're still on, come on down. You are the winner.
Cole Fairchild.
Is Cole here?
Uh-oh.
Did
Do you
they
have to be
leave?
present to win?
I don't know. It's on you. It's your call. You're giving it away.
Going once, going twice, going 3 times, he's out.
Present to win. I say present to win.
Okay.
I don't know.
Let's see.
It seems right to me. I feel like if you stuck it out this long at 6:18, you deserve a case for support. Can we run it again?
I'm gonna see if ChatGPT is playing nice with me. I've been using it so much today. I think it's tired of me today.
I'm gonna take over sharing for a second and just wrap
Yeah,
up
go
on
ahead.
a couple of slides.
Oh, there you
here.
go. It picked Dane Walters. He should still be on, I think. Yes? No?
Dane, speak now.
Nope, I think he left.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
geez.
Uh-oh. Can I take over sharing?
Go ahead. Yeah, go.
Okay. Let's see. Did I stop my presentation? Hold on 1 second. No, should be on. Here we go. Is this it? Oh, goodness. I lost my place. Hold on. Oh, I think it's this one. Is that it? Relationship building. Yes. Okay. All right. So final thoughts. Don't give up. Don't stress out. keep asking. So you do have to get to the no's, get through the no's to get to the yes, ask for help, strategize, put the plan and systems in place, and if necessary, ask for some donors to help you. And then I wanted to give you like I really want to make sure that we have some action after this. So what can you do immediately? Start thinking about getting your little group together. Again, is it your sister, your friend, some donors, board members, team members? Get your committee together tomorrow. Even if your committee is going to change, doesn't matter. Even your committee is 2 people right now. That's okay. By Friday, go through your database or your email list and come up with a list of 10 prospects. Figure out how and when to approach them. So Friday, you've got your list of 10 names. By Monday, you should have a little plan for how to approach them. And by the way, you always have ChatGPT or Perplexity or something else to help you. I'm not quite sure what a plan should look like. Ask for help. I do everything I check with ChatGPT. If I put something together, I say, does this look right? Am I missing something? Did I forget something? And then you could be making your asks by next Wednesday, a week from tomorrow. If you, and you know, the only way to get over the fear of a major gift ask is to start doing it. You just have to start doing it. I'm not going to lie. The first 3 are miserable. If you're not experienced, if you get nervous with these things, they are miserable. So let's maybe take 3 people that, you know, you're going to practice with, right? That you're not putting all your eggs in that basket. But the best way to get through this is to just start doing it. Be bold, just take it on, be authentic, laugh about it. You know what? This is actually the first time I've started making these kind of asks. How am I doing? I feel so silly. I'm so nervous. It's okay. It's okay. And if you screw up the first 3, it's okay too. It's not the end of the world. But you cannot get to being good at it without going through the initial phase of learning how to do it. And that's going to come naturally. No matter how much we sit and talk on these webinars, it's just going to start coming naturally. So I encourage you, please get your team. And if you do all of this by next Wednesday, please email me. I want to know, and I want to know how it's going. We have a shared success series that we're working on with the Miramar Pembroke Pines Chamber of Commerce. It's 3 nonprofit success sessions, 3 sessions over the next few months. One is this Friday. It's going to be grant research and grant writing. It's 2 hours. Everyone is invited. They have opened it up to anyone who wants to attend, and it's free. The next one is going to be in October, and that is going to be on the end of year giving and what that looks like and how to do matches for end of year and major gift solicitations, and then how to plan like Giving Tuesday into your end of year. And the last one is going to be in January, and it's going to be about your annual development plan. So how do you map out your whole year of asks and fundraising and events and major gifts and grants and all that. But all of them are free. They are incredibly generous. They're wonderful, wonderful people. And I'm so excited that we can invite people to this on Friday. We will record it. I'm not sure if it's going to be hosted on their website or ours or both, but we're all open to that idea as well. But obviously we'd love live attendance as well. The next session is September 10th at 6 p.m. It's developing your board. And this is going to be a powerful one because September is also the month that we are doing our board readiness training at Lynn University. For anyone who's familiar with it from last year, it's a day-long training. And we bring in an attorney, we bring in a CPA, and we talk about everything that has to do with getting people ready to serve on a board. So this is really to take a group of people that say, oh, I'm not quite sure, I don't know about financials, I don't know about the legals, do I really want to be, am I liable? We will have the CPA, the legal, the marketing, the DEI, the fundraising expert. So it's a wonderful one-day program. It is free for nonprofits. It is free. It is all day. And then from 5 to 6:30, we have a speed networking at the end of that full day of training. And the speed networking is where we bring in local nonprofits who are looking for board members to speak with, interview, talk to, chat with, get to know our freshly trained board members in the hopes that we will have a match. And Danny, I don't know if you remember from last year, but we had a number of matches made which
We
was
did.
so exciting. It didn't happen on the spot. They were just getting to know each other. But in the subsequent months, we kept hearing about, oh yes, and I joined their board. I said, oh, but you were both at the board readiness event. So it's an exciting program. So Lynn University is in Boca Raton, Florida. And again, board development, that's our big hot topic for September, including how to motivate and inspire your board members to fundraise. So that's important. And as always, we have our resources on our website. We have ebooks, we have these webinars that are recorded, and we have a YouTube channel. So, you know, feel free to go explore and see what you can find out. Back to case for support. What do we got, Danny?
I asked at this time to give me 5 names. Okay, I tweaked myself. So it was one of these 5 has to be on in this order: Eduardo, Liz, Hillary, Michelle, Heather. I think Eduardo's still on.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you want a
guys
case for
are
support, Eduardo?
priceless.
Eduardo,
And
you want a case for support?
Do you
I'm
want
on.
it? You have to accept it. You have to say, do I want it? Do you want to
Definitely,
give it
by
away?
all means.
Can
I
you use
want
it?
Can you use it?
You can
Yes.
use it?
You,
Okay,
Oh,
well
wow.
done, Eduardo. What do the runners up get? Do the runners up get anything?
Oh, you know what? It's up to you. It's your service. You want to give a discount? You want to give a coupon? Whatever you want. I'm just
I
helping
think
you
we
with the
should give the
technology.
runners up a discount. I think they should
Okay.
go a discount. I think that's
Perfect. We'll do that. We'll reach out.
We'll reach out to you and offer you a significant discount, probably about 50%, I would imagine, at least. But that's great. Eduardo, congratulations. Did anyone have any
thank
other
you.
questions?
Yes, on behalf of all participants, we want to thank you both so much. You guys are priceless. Thank you for bringing Carolina to this great meeting. I missed her so much. She's so adorable, so beautiful. She hasn't changed at all in the
Good
years.
to see her. It's good to see you, Carolina. Well, thank you all for your kind words as well. That's so kind of you. I would love if any of you felt like sending in a little testimonial to us via email about just what you think, or we can send you, actually, if you're
we
willing.
have a new program actually that
have
we're going to send it out. So you're going to get an email saying it's called testimonial.to. You could actually record a video. You could tell us in person. You could, you know, applaud us, dance, whatever you want to do to tell Kirsten how much you love all the work that she does. And then it'll be on the Kannico wall of love. That's
It's
what we call
I have
it.
a
interesting.
question.
My Kiwanis Club, a major gift is anyone that gives us $20. That's a major gift to us. So I'm still not used to the $5,000-$10,000 range, but
And
we'll
that's
get
fine.
there.
That's
We'll
fine
get
too.
there.
That's fine too. Okay, we did have a question from Denise. How do you ask donors to ask them about getting to their circle of friends? The best way to do that, Denise, is really organically. Invite them to events, invite them to learn about the organization, tell them about what you're doing, you know. So really, if you stay in close contact with donors and they feel that there's a nice connection and they have a good understanding, it should naturally give you an opportunity to say, do you know anyone else who might be interested in this work? We know that there are people out there that are really passionate about what we do and would love to learn about the work of this organization. I was wondering, do you have anyone in your network? Just come right out and ask. Come right out and ask. But if you have an opportunity to invite them to an event or to an open house or something like that, or for a tour, that's a great way to do it as well. Or also, you know, if you were to have sort of ask a donor, if you for a one-on-one, love to take you to lunch and just find out your thoughts about what we're working on. Is there someone you'd like to bring along with you? Why not? They could certainly bring someone with them. Yeah.
Kirsten, can I give a quick shout out before we finish?
Of course you can.
My friend Vicky Tate just told me some great news, and I wanted to celebrate her because I know how hard it is for organizations to get out
Is
there.
she on this call?
She is. She's with the Association for Women Executives
she
in Palm
is.
Beach County, and they have a wonderful mentorship program for women and young girls getting scholarships. They just got platinum on Candid's Guide Star profile, which I know is
Oh, well
difficult to
done.
get. And so,
Well done.
and I'm putting her link on the chat. Any women in Palm Beach County, talk to Vicky. You need to
If you're a
find
woman
out all the
in
great
Palm Beach
work that
County.
she's doing. If you're a woman in Palm Beach County, you need to find out the work that Vicky's doing.
That's a really good reminder about Candid and GuideStar, because donors are getting savvier and savvier, and they will go on there and find out what they can about you. They'll look for that seal, you know, it's that badge. So yeah.
They really do, because we've already received a phone call from it.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You received a phone call from someone who found you
Because of that, reaching that level, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Interesting.
a
Very
little exciting.
Very interesting. Okay, Hillary was asking, is it okay to have someone from another nonprofit with a different mission on your development committee? I would say it depends what they do at that other organization, because you do want to be careful about the donor information. So it probably just depends. It probably just depends on the, if they're a program person and they're not involved at all with donors, and you feel comfortable and you trust them, perhaps, and maybe their mission. Yeah, and you said the different mission. Yeah. Possibly. Mm-hmm.
Good point, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Sorry,
thank
there
you,
it is.
everyone.
There is the platinum. Just for those that don't know why it's
Mhm.
important from a case for support perspective, from a major gift perspective, from all these things, the more information you give Candid, the higher the ranking is, the more transparent you're supposed to be, and the better chances you have of bringing in some bigger dollars. And so congrats, Vicky, on accomplishing the summit of Candid's certification.
Excellent. Excellent. If you haven't claimed your GuideStar profile and haven't completed it, that's another good project you could work on this weekend. So now you have 2 big projects to work on this weekend. So thank you all so much. Thanks for sticking it out to the very end, you guys.
Yeah,
And
thank
we'll see you
you.
in September. Okay, September, we're going to get your boards all fired up.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Ciao.
Have a great night.
Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.